Hi everyone. It's that time again. It's stream time. I really need to find a decent way of starting these live streams because the way I do it is kind of sad. But I am just going to get this tweeted out. There we go. And then get the chat opened up. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, so we are once again continuing on in this colorful unicorn coloring book with our opalescent unicorn that is decently opalescent. I haven't decided if I'm going to do more with it or not, but we are going to move on to the rock formation behind the unicorn right now. Hi, Melissa. At least that's kind of where I want to go to there. Oh my goodness. I'm half awake. I promise I will eventually wake up completely. After the rock formations, we might move into like the flowers or some of these wood pieces and then continue out on the green stuff. I do hope to finish this relatively soon, but you know, whatever happens, happens. No rush. So for the rocks, I'm going to use all of my warm grays. So for the lightest warm gray, I have warm gray 1, and then I have warm gray 3, warm gray 4, and then warm gray 5. I'm just going to kind of variegate it up with these right here. So nothing too complicated, just keeping it simple today. Mainly because my brain doesn't want to be overtaxed right now. I spent a good chunk of yesterday outside, and now my allergies are just like, what were you planning to accomplish with that? I don't know. But, you know, it happens. Hi, Nick. Auntie. So yeah, I don't have any rhyme or reason to how I'm going to do this. Like I said, my brain is just kind of like, let's have a mellow coloring day. So that is basically what I am going to try and accomplish today. Just kind of lay all the colors down, and then I will feed them together. Because I know it looks kind of right now, but this is why you kind of have to work in small areas with the pits if you want to get like a blended look, because you want to work while it's still a little wet. Otherwise, you won't quite get the same effect. And theoretically, I could kind of work it as I go. But you have to kind of keep your markers straight at the same time. Which is always a task in it of itself. So I'm just gonna slowly kind of work like that. Like I said, my brain didn't want anything overly complicated. And this is also why I generally keep all of the markers open in my hand, because I'm usually flipping back and forth rather rapidly so that I can smooth out that gradient. And luckily, this paper is willing to take a lot of ink without pilling. Which is good. Completely understand, Elizabeth. Hi, Nika. Or NYCA, I don't know. You know, sometimes I am not the best with names, so I apologize to anyone if I ever butcher names. Look at that. So I'm thinking next week the Halloween stuff needs to come out in my coloring books. So we probably won't do this on the next stream if we don't get this finished today, because it just makes sense. I need a little spooky in my life. So yes, I do have like all of the Halloween stuff up right now. Finally got the stuff that needed to be outside, which is great. And I just took the cap off of that marker without intending to. So I am ready for the trick-or-treaters. I'm doing pretty well. I don't have any complaints. Just living life. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. It's been an adventure and a half. Like I said, it's definitely still a work in progress. And it might modify and change and warp. But I think I'm okay with the attempts that I've made on this page. Because I'm hoping as I add more, the unicorn doesn't feel quite as out of place as it feels right now. Which is part of the reason why I'm using the warm grays for the rocks, is so the whole piece has this warmer tone to it. And I don't all of a sudden have like cool tones randomly thrown in there. And it's going to get interesting when I get to some of the bigger spots on these rocks. I don't know if things are going to quite blend out as smoothly. But you know, you only live once, right? You got to give it a try. Trying to think, what did I read this week? This week, I know I read something. I know I finished something. Ooh, I'm just destroying the tips of these markers. Why can't I? Wow. My brain is, I think I need more caffeine. I need more caffeine. Bring out the caffeine. Caffeine. I am so sorry, guys. My brain, for whatever reason, it just had that moment where I'm like, and everything just stopped. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. It's been one of those weeks where everything has just been off. And there's just been so much going on that processing all of it has been, I don't know. And it's not even, you know, my drama or issues that have just like thrown this week off. It's, I don't know how to explain it. It's not really my story to tell, unfortunately. And I'm hoping resolution comes in a way that justice is served as it should be, but at the same time, it's like trying to process, and I commend people who have the ability to process traumatic situations and continue on and be fully functioning people, because the emotional things that just go on, I don't know. Because I won't lie, I have led a very, very blessed life, and I am very, very thankful for it. And sometimes you just want to take people and you just want to hug them and keep them close and protect them for always. But unfortunately, the world isn't that exciting sometimes. And things happen, and you just kind of cry with them. But it wasn't all dreary stuff. Went wedding dress shopping with my best friend, and we found her wedding dress yesterday. And then I helped her photo shoot a set of twins. Do a photo shoot with a set of twins, which was chaotic but fun at the same time. Especially at the age of 2. The twins were 2, so they were quite a handful. It ended with everyone trying to put sticks back onto trees. But yeah, and unfortunately, I haven't really been doing a lot of coloring outside of these streams. So I'm always ready to go when these streams come up, because I'm like, I haven't colored all week. I'm gonna do some coloring, and it's gonna be exciting, and I'm gonna like it. Ooh, I'm gonna sneeze. I apologize if I sneeze right into the microphone. I'm gonna try not to do that because I like you guys too much. I am really enjoying how that variance is going on these rocks. Guys, I plan absolutely nothing out. Nothing. I was literally sitting here 5 minutes before the stream started, trying to decide what colors I was going to use and what I was actually going to color on this picture. I like being spontaneous with my coloring. You know? I feel sometimes if I make it too much of a job, I'll just lose the passion for it. So I'm willing to make mistakes. I'm willing to make a fool of myself, hence the attempt at the opal unicorn, which didn't quite paint the way I was hoping. But hey, I learned what I can do with these PITT pens and alcohol. So that's something. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. My pits definitely get a lot of use. I think I might have to start buying backup ones because my poor tips are just being mutilated. And I'm sure at some point, one or the other is just gonna run out of ink. And there's a couple colors in the pit that I know they are discontinuing. And they're usually the bigger pit, this size pit. And they don't have the colors in the smaller pits. So I might start hoarding those colors. Hi, Steve. Everything is good over here. I know for sure that after I'm done coloring with all of this, I'm going to be hitting the Pokemon event that is going on today because that is my life and it needs to happen. And I'm just a nerd like that. So yes. Right? Beldums. I need them and I want my shinies. It's gonna be epic. I want at least one shiny. That's always my goal on these days. I want one shiny. Probably should have been coloring these out as I was going, but I got distracted. And I know my my brain is just like, okay, switching topics, going back to where we were before with the pits. I know for sure that my light color pits are going to be the first ones that run out because I always use the lighter colors to blend out all of the colors because I don't want to make my colors too dark when I'm blending them out. So I always use the light one to blend, which is why the tips of the light ones are like really, really messed up. I have been getting quite a few of the Gen 4s. I mean, I haven't evolved very many of them yet because I want to wait until I get the whole range so I can just run through all of the evolutions all at once and maybe like put on a lucky egg and all of that so I can get leveled up. But yeah, I mean, we've been tracking those down for the last several days. I love when they finally release new stuff because it starts to get to a point where I'm like, I feel like I'm seeing the same thing over and over and over and over. So I am so excited that there are so many Pokemon players in the chat right now. Not gonna lie. And I grabbed too dark of a color. Getting too excited. It's okay. We're gonna make it work. Nobody panic. I got this. I got this. I got this. And of course, starting to make plans for next month. Who are they barking at? Oh, mailman's here. I don't know if you guys just heard that, but the dogs started to go crazy upstairs because they're asleep in the sun on the couch. Just started barking like crazy. And then someone rang the doorbell. Guessing it's the mailman. I don't know what he'd be delivering today. Hey, no, don't walk on the desk. You're not a cat. Yeah. No. You're just gonna knock everything over, babe. Yeah. Can you pull him down? Oh, the gate came in?
Yeah, that might be a good story to tell.
Okay, so first off, sorry for that interesting interruption. It is one of my Amazon packages that came in. Sadly, not any coloring supplies. But it is a new baby gate because the last several times that we have come home, the dogs have just been free-ranging it. And they have their own room. Like, this is a really nice room that we've set up for them. And they have their own little heater, and they got a ton of blankets and a ton of toys, but we keep finding them outside of the baby gate. But the baby gate's closed. So we just started assuming that they're jumping over the baby gate. So I found a baby gate that is at least a foot higher than the gate we have now, so we can try that out. But as I was starting to leave the other day, this was Friday, I finally discovered how they're actually getting outside of the baby gate. And they're not jumping the baby gate. They are climbing the baby gate. Somehow, in their minds, it makes sense to haul themselves, to power lift themselves over the top of the baby gate. And so now we have a new baby gate. We'll see if that actually works. We can test it tonight when we go out for dinner. We have monkeys for dogs. But yeah, Albus was just about to walk across my coloring page, which is kind of hilarious because I'm sitting at my drafting table right now, but it's pushed up against the back of the couch. So they come up and over the back of the couch and then walk across my desk. So nothing is safe in this house anymore, which is fine. I have two Xolos, or also known as the Mexican hairless. I mean, and they're not very big dogs. I mean, they're 13, 14 pounds. But they can get up into some shenanigans. And we're definitely learning how to live with each other, because we've had them for almost 2 months now. We're getting to the 2 months mark. Next week will be 2 months. And we're actually at the point where the cats and the dogs, they get along perfectly fine. We actually have Nissa who will walk underneath the dogs, which is a huge step compared to when we first brought the pups home. I was a little paranoid for a while that they wouldn't get along and we'd have to make separate times for the cats and for the dogs and just be a right mess. And that is no way to live a life. But yeah, we have 2 little Coco dogs. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. I don't know how many of you guys have watched the Haunting of Hill House Netflix series, but oh my goodness, it is probably my favorite thing this month. Because, I mean, I like watching thrillers and horror and all those things that have the jump scares, but I haven't had a legitimate jump scare. And I was talking to my friend about it, and she's like, yeah, it's probably been about like 5 years or so since I've had like a jump scare moment that like stuck with me. But this show, I had one of those for the first time the other day, and the way they tell the story of Hill House, I love how they decided to do it. And I don't want them to do a continuation of it, but I hope they do more in that style, because it was wonderfully done. The storytelling was amazing. Plus, I just like those spooky, eerie stories. Hi, Robin. Well, that's fine. I'm glad you could just stop in. Oh, yeah, we are in Nebraska, in the middle of nowhere, United States. Though I'm sure a lot of places can claim that title. But we're smack dab in the middle. You know, I don't know if I've actually ever seen The Evil Dead. So that might be one I have to pick up. Yeah, because I never, like, truly got into the horror genre until I hit college. and things just kind of took off from there. I mean, I've been reading horror for ages, but that is very much different than watching. So yes, so if you like the horror genre and you haven't watched Haunting of Hill House, the Netflix series yet, I highly, 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 highly recommend it. Because, I mean, not even just for the jump scares and everything else, but the character development and byplay in that series is just phenomenal. Like I said, I really love the story that they tell. And I'm usually not watching movies for the character development. I will not lie. Oh, and I have been catching up with the new Doctor Who episodes, which I was keeping an open mind with the new Doctor, but after the first episode, I was pretty content with her. I think because she has enough of the maniac energy that David Tennant first brought into the Doctor, because she has some of that, I think that's what I'm like, okay, I could deal with this character. I like what she's doing. I don't even mind that they did the gender switch. So we'll see what they do with the storyline now, though. Part of me was thinking that, should I be the Doctor for Halloween? Because it's going to be easier to pull off now. Because, you know, it's easier for me to pretend to be a girl doctor than it is for me to pretend to be a gender swapped past doctor. Though I have enjoyed doing that in the past too. But I think it'll just be easier to find items that fit me the right way for what I want to do, I think is more of the issue there. Though I'm pretty sure if there is any Doctor Who related things out for Halloween, they're probably all sold out already. Maybe next year when it's not like right before Halloween. Not that I really dress up for anything on Halloween. I don't know about you guys. I don't go to a lot of Halloween parties. Sometimes I'll dress up to go to work just because I love the shock on people's faces when they see me walking through the hallway with a unicorn onesie on. Because I'm just that person at work. But and sometimes it's fun to have an outfit on when you answer the door for the kids. I think after I get done with this set of rocks, I'm going to move down and I'm going to attempt to do this bottom rock, but I'm not going to use the lightest colors. I might just stick to the dark colors down there. Just because I feel like since it's like further down the rock formation, you wouldn't have some of these lighter tips. Ooh, and in other exciting news, the buffering and other shenanigans on my live stream might disappear in the future while I'm actually using our Wi-Fi because, oh my gosh, I just lost English there for a second. Because the internet service that we are hoping to switch through is finally putting lines down near us. They have the neighborhood in a bit of a mess right now. Okay, a lot of a mess right now. Because, you know, they're pulling up dirt to put their lines down. But that means we are going to have faster internet in this area, and I don't have to switch my phone into cellular mode while streaming, and it's gonna be amazing, and I'm super excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm super excited. I don't know why I needed to whisper that last part, but I did. some of the gray in there. Pull it back up. I'm glad you could stop in, Robin. See if I can go around these leaves without making a complete mess. That was the wrong color. I'm like, what? Why is it? Well, I might just bring that darker up more. Don't mind me, I'm just kind of mumbling to myself right now. Just kind of make that black. I think I'm gonna put black here too. Might have just made a mess of that area, but that's okay. I don't want to overwork it trying to fix it. Okay, I'm just gonna let that dry and then come back to it and see if it's still driving me nuts. Okay, so we have this area right in here, and I'm thinking definitely not gonna use this light color. Maybe I'll use a little bit of the light gray, but I don't think I'll use a whole ton of it. I think I'm gonna use mostly the darker two colors. Pull that back up. Hi, Zargot. Okay, I completely understand. You do you. I'm just glad you showed up. It's exciting. And if you want, you can bring some of that dinner over here and I can help you finish it. I take bribes in the form of food. I don't know what you're bribing me for, but you know. I'm in one of those weird moods today. So I will not judge you if you just decide to like watch this without the sound on. Put your own music soundtrack to it. Okay, this is where it's gonna start getting complicated, trying to get around these grasses. So I'm like trying to work so that we don't have streaking, but at the same time, the areas are so big at this point that it's gonna get a little messy. You know what? I am a very, very big fan of fermented cabbage. So, you know, it all works for me. I am pretty much a garbage disposal. I won't lie. It's bad. And I think part of it came from, you know, I grew up with two brothers. And all of us, you know, we weren't picky eaters by any means. So if I wanted food, I had to grab it and grab it fast. And or be willing to eat what other people finished. Because my brothers, they just plowed through food. Kimchi and udon noodles. Okay, I am coming to your house like right now. We're going to stop the stream this very second and I'm coming to your house. Because those are like some of my favorite all-time things ever. Speaking of which, I need to put kimchi on the grocery list. We forgot to pick that up on Friday. Yeah, no, we are huge fans of kimchi in this house. I tend to eat it for snacks. Okay, I have 24 hours to get to your house. Got it. Okay, so I think this is the biggest piece that I'm going to have to color with this. And so far, I don't have too much heartburn for how it's turning out. I mean, I definitely wish I could get that color a little smoother, but it's just the reality of the media I'm using right now. I am sitting comfortably in the middle of the US in Nebraska. So any direction I need to go is probably going to take about the same amount of time, which is nice. But still, at the same time, we aren't super exciting over here. Though I believe Nebraska started a new campaign that is kind of hilarious because it's a little bit self-deprecating. You know, playing on the idea that people think there's nothing out here to do. So I approve of that. I mean, we do have one of the biggest zoos in the United States. That's one of our claims to fame. And I guess we have the sand hills, and we've got some interesting prairie land and wildlife around here. But it's not really the first place you think of. Oh yes, and lots of corn. Hence why we're the Cornhusker state. And soybean. They don't tell you about the soybean. Okay, I think I need to bring the darker higher up. Yeah, they kind of all look the same. So yeah, I mean it's just pretty much a lot of really tall grasses. It's not super exciting, except for, you know, I do love my prairie dogs. You're one of my favorite animals. Because it's kind of funny when you go to the zoo. I love going to the prairie dog exhibit. But at the same time, since they're a naturally occurring creature around this area, you also have like prairie dogs like poking up all around the zoo. So I mean, you've got this colony in this one little area, and then you're just walking to the cat house, or you're going to see the elephants, and then you just see a prairie dog, you know, just pop up, middle of nowhere. It's like, hi. It's true. I mean, we don't have a lot of traumatic events happen out here. I mean, and I can't really complain too much about the weather. I mean, we get some decent blizzards and we get tornadoes, but we don't have to worry about a lot of things that a lot of the other like coastal states have to worry about, which is nice. Okay. So I think that's it for the rocks. I think I'm gonna move on to these wood pieces. I think you can see a little bit down in here. And I will put all of the colors I'm using in the description box. So if you want to come back to this video ever and figure out and try and remember what colors they are, you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning to find them. I honestly don't know. I mean, I know we have claims to, what's his face? Why is the name completely disappearing from me right now?
Johnny Carson.
No. Not Johnny Carson. The really rich guy.
Oh, Warren Buffett.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. We have Warren Buffett. And once upon a time, we had Brandon Sanderson. Okay, so I'm just opening my browns, which I'm leaning more on the yellowish browns. So I have dark maple ochre, 184. And then I have green gold, which is 268. Raw umber, which is 180. And then cadmium mortum, 169. Yeah. I imagine that he doesn't sing quite at the same level as Bruce. But he is always the first famous name that pops to my mind when it comes to Nebraska. And I'm just gonna treat these browns in the same way I did the grays. That's kind of interesting. I'm just gonna kind of run with it because I think it's gonna blend well with what I'm doing for the greenery, which is why I've decided to do it this way. I probably wanted to do that the opposite way. Okay. Pay no attention to what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of making a mess. I know. I didn't quite do that the way I wanted to do that. But because of how I want to do it, I think I'm gonna have to lay down the color a little differently. So we're gonna play a little bit because we might have to go from dark to light. Rather than light to dark. I think I want to pull some of the dark around a little more, give it more of a dynamic range rather than just like a straight line of whatever is going on there. So we're just gonna kind of run with it a little bit, maybe. Oh yeah, these PITT pens are some of my favorite things ever, and if I could only get the black color, I don't know how I'd feel about that. There we go. That would make me extremely sad. And I am very thankful that we have a Blick near us so that I can get all of these random colors. And I don't have to buy whole new packs when I do run out. And I know these bigger brush ones are, I think they were made for stamping rather than coloring, but I mean, that is just such a pretty brush. And it is about the same size as a Copic nib, brush nib, that I have no problems using it. Okay, this one's gonna be a little trickier. This one actually starts moving into a little branch thing. That's not the color I want to use. Well, I hope they do start selling them more places then. I didn't realize that it was limited, the regions in which they sold these things. Because I believe Faber-Castell, it's a German-based country. Germany is a German-based country. Oh, it's a German-based company. So I'm surprised they wouldn't be in Europe. True. I guess, I mean, they have to go where things will sell well. And there's a huge craft community over here, especially like scrapbooking and that kind of stuff. I suppose it's a lot like McDonald's selling different things on the menu, depending on which country you're in. Let's doing some interesting things. I think I'm gonna tone down the really bright yellow. I don't think I want it that bright. Okay, so the real fun is deciding what else in here is actually related to that. Because I'm thinking there might be some of this and some of this. Heh, well, I guess that's how I'm going to color it. Just going to kind of... I feel like it kind of like swings. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do, just for my own sanity's sake, is just put a base of this ochre. Oh, thank you. Like I said, I want it to feel cohesive, but I think some of this is too. I think it probably swings back. And if not, you know what? It does now. I'm not being too careful right now because I know whatever color I use for the flowers, I'll probably be able to cover with that. So something kind of like that is where I think that's going. Well, you have a good day. Thank you for joining Nick and T. glad you could hang out with us. I guess we have been going for an hour, haven't we? Oh my goodness. I always think I'm gonna get like a huge amount of things done, and then I realize just how long it takes me to do some small areas because I'm such a fiddler. I like doing fiddly bits. Because I mean, theoretically, I don't necessarily have to get that intense with this, but you know, I do anyways. It's fine. Okay. And I think these bits I'm just gonna do, I'm not gonna let a lot of the ochre come through. I'm just gonna color it the darker umbers and the nougat. Nope, this is the Caput Mortem. Okay, so I grabbed one of the redder colors, which is fine. I kind of like how it's turning out. So originally, I think, thinking of picking up the nougat. Told you my brain is just like all over the place, but you know what? It works. Kind of like the reddish that it's bringing in. It is so weird to be hearing lawnmowers right now. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, I don't know how I accidentally did it, but see, I grabbed the Mortem rather than, I was originally going for the nougat because I was just going to grab these 4 down the line. I don't know why I grabbed the Mortem and then proceeded to like not realize what I was doing, but you know, happy accidents and all that. I like it. The fact that I just now realized I made that mistake is rather interesting as well. You know, sometimes I just get too into what I'm doing. I don't realize what I'm actually doing. I hope I'm on the screen right now. really good. Because it's kind of interesting because I see a certain section of the screen on my phone as I'm filming, but in reality, when I watch it back on YouTube, there's actually more showing than I can actually see on my screen on my phone. That was not the color I was trying to pick up there, but that's fine. That's the fun part about layering markers is, you know, you can just, if you screw up, you can fix it. It's not the end of the world by any means. There we go. There's just that empty spot that I'm like, I need to color that. Okay, so then we have this, oop, sliding off my desk. We've got this piece right here that I'm going to do with the same color. So then you've got them side by side, kind of balancing each other out. So this is more of a stick and less of a vine. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's always interesting trying to work with the pits because since they're the India ink, they don't quite, they definitely don't work the same as India ink. But you can still get some interesting effects with them if you're willing to sit there and work with them. I don't want to lose some of this wood grain nature. It is. I'm on a drafting table right now that I've just covered with a piece of poster paper so that I can, you know, just randomly just go like that if I want to. That, and it's a glass drafting table. So if I didn't have the piece of paper, you'd see my feet right now. And as adorable as my feet are, that's not really what I want you to focus on. Plus it reflects the desk lights and things that I have on right now really, really bad. But yeah, I've got one of those adjustable drafting table desk, which is really, really nice. So I don't necessarily have to be like hunched over my desk if I don't want to be. I can just raise the incline. It's nice on the back, especially when you're sitting at the desk for long periods of time. As you can tell, I don't necessarily have one way of actually doing something, because So a lot of times, especially with markers, you can achieve the same effect by doing it different ways. And plus, like I said, I'm trying to find a way to do this while still kind of keeping that wood grain type feel. So you don't lose some of the organic nature of the shape of this stuff. At the same time, I want it to feel dynamic enough with the color range. So something kind of like that. I'm getting really fiddly with these, but you know what? That's okay. But I think after I get this done, I'm going to take a drink of my caffeine because caffeine is wonderful. Yeah, kind of like that. I might pull some of this down here so I can create a little bit of separation between each of those tiny pieces. Oh no, Elizabeth! That is not good. You know, it's weird how the quality like fluctuates with the Kirby Roseanne books. It's a bit concerning. I don't know if it's just my version of geomorphia, but I feel like the page colors are a bit different. They've got more of a yellowish sheen to them compared to like all of the other Kirby Roseanne books I have. No! I'm gonna have to find a corner to cry in, Zargot. Because you just broke my heart into a million little tiny pieces. I don't know how I'm gonna come back from that. Okay, so it isn't just me. It is on a cream paper. But I mean, if it's like the second half of whatever the one that was released earlier this year, the name is completely leaving my brain right now. If it's the second half of that, why would they change the... I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? I'm still going to color in it, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'll work with it. That's fine. Yeah, Phantomorphia. It feels so much different than Phantomorphia. And I feel like those were supposed to be one book. So why would the quality change? I don't... Okay, well, and yeah, I can see why Kirby decided that this was it, if that's the kind of stuff he's dealing with, because, oh my goodness, that it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I'll have to go watch that because I know there's like huge, I mean, even the size difference between some of the different regions that they print these things in. It's like, okay. I guess I can forgive you for eating all of it. I'm just going to be ridiculously sad for quite a while. Because, yes. I just don't know what to do with myself now. I think the last thing that I'm going to color today, and then call it for a while, is these ribbons and maybe the eyeballs, because I want to use these purples. I want to throw purple into this somehow, because I'm thinking of doing the flowers in maybe reds and oranges so that they pop, because I mean the unicorn is like greens and pinks and yellows and blues. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, because some people got all of the geomorphia in the phantomorphia stuff. So it's like there's no consistency there. Hi, Katrina. Joined just in time to watch me add purple. And I don't add purple very often. Not that I dislike purple, I'm just not a big purple person. I don't know why that is. But I think this purple looks really nice next to the hair. Aw, thank you. I'm glad you like him. Ooh, I am liking that. I get so excited when I make choices that just make sense. I really need to learn to trust myself a little more. I like it. I like it so much. And that makes me excited. Because I've been struggling with, you know, how I feel about the hair of this unicorn. But I feel like now that more of it is slowly starting to be colored, that I'm starting to accept how everything is laying out together. It's one of those things, sometimes you have to remind yourself that it may look funny now, but you're not done. Because all of the little pieces, they like play in together. Well, I'm glad you could join us. And of course, there's like glitter all over this page right now. And so my hands are starting to turn glittery. It's like, you know, you should probably wait to add the glitter last. But sometimes help yourself and you just want to add the glitter. Oh, look at it, it's so pretty. I don't know why I'm getting like super excited. I was going to take a drink, wasn't I? And did I? Of course not. I got too excited about the ribbons. Yeah, because I wanted to choose something that fit with the hair but didn't blend in with the hair. I think the purple is working beautifully. I also find it interesting that I believe it's this lilac that you can, oh, I didn't even tell you what colors I was using. I apologize for that. Okay, so I'm using the Purple Violet 136 and the Lilac 239. And what I find really interesting is this lilac, which is a nice pastel-y purple, doesn't come in the polychromos. The shade of purple doesn't. It only comes in this PITT pen. Which I think that's a little sad because, I mean, having this light kind of purple might be really nice in the colored pencils. That is hilarious, Sargot. Yeah. Oh, I've gotten into trouble like that, especially since I have to be careful because some glitters I'm allergic to. And it doesn't end well, which is why I never go to Bath and Body Works. It's not a good thing. But I have done that so many times, you know, with like lotions and scrubs and other things. They're like loaded with glitter for no particular reason. Oh, but that is hilarious. I'm wondering if I should color her eyes purple. His, hers, theirs. I suppose the unicorn can be gender neutral. I don't know. The unicorn hasn't told me their story yet, so I don't know. Oh, that was a little messy. Because I know there's also a little hair tie right here. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Kind of tie all the colors together. It's happening. I guess this thing, we're gonna kind of there we go. See if I can get it all in frame for you guys. Ooh, yep, losing my voice. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I think that is where I want to stop today. My guess is maybe just one more live stream and then we'll have this page completely colored. Possibly, maybe two, depending on how slow or fast I end up working. But thank you guys for joining me today. I hope to see you guys all back next week. Same time, same place, 11 Central. And I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.